Yo. So in recent videos, and actually for the past about a year almost, I've talked about Alessandra Ambrosio and her children Anja and Noah Ambrosio, and I've speculated that Anja and Noah Ambrosio are in fact my biological children. And when I've made the videos and made them public, there have been like calamitous natural disasters in places that would be relevant to these people. Most recently in uh, California, the windstorm that kicked up a firestorm that burned down the Pacific Palisades, which is in fact the uh, neighborhood that Anja and Noah somewhat live in. They live right adjacent to it. And their school burned down, and I think a lot of their friends' houses burned down, or, that was my understanding. I stopped following them recently because it only took 7 days for Alessandra Ambrosio to like be humble for a little while for 7 days, and then she just went right back to taunting me along with Anja and Noah Ambrosio. And so it just validated the fact that these people are maybe my biological children, but the whole intent is to be abusive and psychologically distressing to me. And in the past week, I found that there's a company that does um, facial recognition matching for possible paternity tests. So, like, it's a facial recognition paternity test, and then if it shows an above 50% result, they strongly suggest that there's a relatedness, and you could then confirm it by taking a paternity test. Now, I'm not going to be able to force Alessandra Ambrosio to give me a paternity test on these children. And I can't really get people to engage that this is happening. But I figured that if I sent my picture in with pictures of Anja and Noah Ambrosio and they looked similar enough to me, that I could get a third party review. And this is a professional third party review, and it's unbiased. And I'm going to suggest it's an expert opinion on this, and we'll see what happens, right? So I did that, and those results came in, and I talked about them in some previous videos, but this is a video directly dedicated to that. So without further ado, let's get into this real fast. Here is Kilauea, but and it looks like it's started up again. But here we go to face DNA test, and this is what I had found. And when we click this, it pulls up the website that I already have up here. So I'm going to go to this because that's it. And I did the father's pick to child, the pro package on both of these. And, they do paternity tests in this place. And this company is actually in Fort Worth, Texas. So I'm located in Houston, Texas. They're located in Fort Worth, Texas. So they aren't in some random country that doesn't have laws about this. So I trust generally that they're going to be able to provide a good service, and I believe they have. So I did the father and child pro package on both of these. I can't send in unlimited because I don't have unlimited money to do this, but you can see here what this does. It studies eyes, nose, face pattern. Email a PDF copy of the results. Um, Anonymously submit photos. Studies extended facial traits. By the way, that was my mirroring from my phone because we're going to pull up some of the pictures on my phone. I didn't want to transfer them all to the computer. But manual expert review of photos submitted. This is, I think, a critical one. I believe they use some AI facial recognition to do a quick study, and then they have a technician who is a manual expert, according to them, review photos submitted. It took about a day. They study hereditary traits, and they keep, you can see what it says here, and photos. So I did that, and you can go to this, and it explains what the app does, and whatever. It's the same thing that we just looked at. You can pause the video and read what they'll study. And without further ado, these are my results for both Anja and Noah Ambrosio. Let me pull up Kilauea again here. It's a little out of focus, but that's not what we're focusing on currently. So For Anja Ambrosio's face, and I'm gonna just share. These are the photos, or this is the photo that I sent in for Anja Ambrosio, and quickly, I guess we'll do a full screen. I believe we look alike. I don't believe Alessandra Ambrosio has this thick of a nose like I do. It's also not rounded like Anja Ambrosio's nose. She also has eyebrows that I believe are similar to mine, and other features that I believe are similar to mine. She does, obviously, she came out of Alessandra Ambrosio. I mean, I say obviously, who knows? But Alessandra Ambrosio has Asian looking eyes. And I don't mean that in any bad way. I think she is a very attractive woman. Except, these days I kind of think that internally she's like rotten and a bad person and not attractive internally, but externally she is very attractive to me. Now, when you look at Anja Ambrosio's eyes, her eyes look exactly like my eyes. Other than she has light brown eyes like her mom does, I have dark brown eyes. No, Ambrosio has dark brown eyes. Their purported father, Jamie Mazur, or Jaime Mazur, does not have dark brown eyes. So that should be a hint right there that something is going on. Additionally, his features are superficially similar to mine, but in my opinion, they do not match when you do a close review of Jamie Mazur, their purported father, the one who raised them instead of me, and or at least for years has raised them. Um, like if you actually do a review of her features, compare hers, mine, and Jamie Mazur's and Alessandra Ambrosio, I believe for both the children, for both of them, Anja and Noah, I believe my features match closer to theirs, and I think this is just a good example. Anja Ambrosio at this age here looks, a lot like me. The only feature that I would say I don't have that is like, something that might be like that what Jamie Mazur would have is a cleft chin. But my dad has a cleft chin. His father has a cleft chin. My mom's father has a cleft chin. And I believe some other people in my family have cleft chins. So I don't think that is a deal breaker. I think that's a recessive gene. And, she got it. Alessandra Ambrosio has pointy features. Anja Ambrosio has rounded features on pretty much everything. The nose is the big tell, though. The reason you can't see into her nostrils is that this is a slightly off angle in my case here, but I tried to do a good job putting a comparison together. Now, this is what this company has said, that we are 87.63% match as far as relatedness. Your percentage is over 50%. Therefore, this report suggests that the participants may share a relationship. And my point with this is that very obviously they look like me to me. However, a third party, independent study essentially has also agreed. And, I would suggest I think people know that this is going on. And I would suggest that they are staking company, their company's reputation on this, but I think people know, and that there's so many people involved in this abusive behavior, in this, what I'm saying is a form of rape, to have force bred me when I was 16. Anja Ambrosio was born when I was 16 or 17. Actually, I guess I would have just turned 17, which means they would have had to have gotten my semen from my first sexual encounter with a girl named Nikki Dunn, unless they did it some other capacity. But in my opinion, the timetable matches that Nikki Dunn took my semen from the blowjob that she gave me when we were, I guess, juniors or sophomores in high school, and I guess she spit it into a vial or something. Maybe Alessandra Ambrosio came to Houston prior to that, or immediately came here. She's a jet-setting woman. She can be anywhere, on a quick notice. And they used in vitro fertilization, I think, and then impregnated her with this. That's my guess. Now, latter iterations maybe didn't go play like that, but I'm going to say this. If I'm 16 and this happens here in Houston, Texas, that is a form of child rape here in Houston, Texas. So illegal, inappropriate, and I think the Ambrosio family are rapists, and I think Anja and Noah are siding with random guy Jamie Mazur, and this their family, particularly their mother, who are rapists. I brought up that I believe that this is exactly spoken of in the book of Revelation, and that Alessandra Ambrosio is the Jezebel character from Revelation 2:20. That is my belief. I'm welcome to have that belief here in Houston, Texas. This is already some weird shit that isn't explainable through normal means. I tried to explain it through modern science, and I will continue to do so. But I think that there's a spiritual war going on, and that this is a form of some kind of group of Satanists, and a bunch of celebrities are Satanists, or like it says in Revelation, a synagogue of Satan, those who profess to be Jews but are not. Jamie Mazur comes from a supposedly Jewish family. They follow all sorts of bullshit Eastern spirituality that is easily provable, and provably false is what I mean. And I believe in Yahweh, and that Jesus is Yahweh. So, Yahweh is God, God of everything, the supreme God. That's who the Jews should follow. And I believe that Jesus is the Jeremiah 23:5 and 6 Messiah, the anointed king, Yahweh Zidkenu. And I think that's why these people, oh, hey, look, we're in focus now. There is a burning lake that these people who would do this are thrown into, Satan and his minions. I think these people are, Alessandra is called an angel. Well, Satan and his angels, there is a burning lake for them to be thrown into in Revelation, and I think it looks a hell of a lot like this. So, Kilauea. I ain't Pele. I'm the guy on the throne of Yahweh, and or Jesus. And the reason I say that is I believe I'm the one conquering at the seven churches of Asia. But to keep this more succinct, let's look at the Noah Ambrosio pictures. Then we'll look at a couple other pictures and wrap this up, because I don't want this to be longer than 30 minutes. And if I can keep it under 20 minutes or 15 minutes, that's great too. All right, this is Noah Ambrosio. This is me on the right. Noah Ambrosio's on the left. I'm on the right. He has similar eyes to his mother to some degree. They look kind of Asian, but they also look kind of like mine. A lot like mine, actually. His eyebrows come from her. His ears come from her. A number of his other features come from me. Particularly on both of them, Anja and Noah Ambrosio, their nose looks a lot like my nose. He's tan here because during this period, I think they were going to the beach a lot. They live near the beach. I spend most of my day, like the daytime, sleeping, and I'm kind of a nocturnal person, so this is my middle of the day, and it is currently 10:57 p.m. Here in Houston, Texas Central Time. So, all right, let's look at the nose. This is not the highest resolution picture. We can look at some other ones, but it doesn't need to be that high resolution for you to see. He has a rounded nose, like mine. Not like Jamie Mazur's as much. Definitely not like Alessandro Ambrosio. So, he would have to get his nose from his father. All right, well, he has a very similar nose to me, and I think the thing that really shines light on this is his chin, and his, just his facial build. It's a lot like me at his age. But I didn't compare a picture of me from his age. We'll do that here in a moment. I've done that in other pictures, and at every age, we look very similar, other than he has more Asian looking eyes than I do. He also has whiter features. Reminds me of my cousin Josh, honestly, because I think Josh looks like a whiter version of me. Josh has two white parents. My dad is black. Genetically, he is half black. Culturally, he is a black man. He went to segregated high school here in Houston, Texas, Yates. Both of his parents are black. I'm sure that during the slave days there was some kind of thing where something happened, or I don't know, but he's half black genetically. I'm 25% black genetically. You can see some of those features, and by that I mean African American. Our lineage is from Louisiana, and I've done the ancestry test. I've showed that in other videos. I think probably if Anja and Noah Ambrosio did those Ancestry.com tests, I would come back as a direct match. If they were forced to take a mouth swab to do a paternity test and there was a chain of custody that was reasonable on it, I think you would find that I'm their parent, I'm their father. You know what I mean? And that Alessandra Ambrosio is their mother. But I mean, look at the nose here. You know what I mean? I think it should be pretty obvious in the nose. We even have the little under nostril lips. You know what I mean? Like this feature here that certain people do not have. When I look at Alessandra Ambrosio, she doesn't have that. Now, Jamie Mazur does have that, but his nose is a little sharper, and I just don't believe that Jamie Mazur or Jaime Mazur is his father. I think it is some kind of cabal of pedophile abusers, and I think there's some really fucked up, weird shit going on around this. And I've been trying to get the news to look into this and cover this, and this should be the thing that breaks it open because this is a third party paternity facial recognition company that is an expert in this, and they're saying that these kids look a hell of a lot like me. And by that I mean, let's look at the results. Oh, he is 92% match, 93 if you round up. It suggests that we may share a relationship. If the number is over 50%, it would strongly suggest relationship. I think that that's pretty fucking obvious to me. Again, let's look at this guy, Jamie Mazur. Or here, we'll look up Alessandra Ambrosio. It's almost been 2,520 days since they broke up. If you've been following along with my story, that will make sense. I think all the people around Alessandra Ambrosio are abusive, fucking rapist, evil celebrity people that are trying to steal away my reality from me. And the greatest example of that is forced breeding me as a minor here in Houston, Texas. And then, my guess is that they've been abusing and like raping Anja and Noah Ambrosio since they were little babies. And if this is difficult to take and it's hard to believe, what do you think the whole Epstein thing is? I think the whole point was to get compromat on people, and that the Victoria's Secret Angels, the whole point of getting a bunch of women together to be these angels is that then they were used to compromise wealthy men. And Ed Razek and is somewhat connected, I believe, to Jeffrey Epstein, and that the whole group of people are just a bunch of fucking rapists. Now, I brought up that Daddy's Home 2 in previous videos that you can go watch. I literally, by the way, have made a specific on my Matt Wilkins YouTube channel. The one that you go here and you can clearly see me doing incredible things with lightning and storm activity. Almost the opposite, where Jesus calms the storm, I'm bringing the storm. In either case, it's showing that Yahweh and his Holy Spirit has power over the storm. That makes him God, and that makes me working with God, not Satan. Okay, so you go to playlists, and my most recent one is Alessandra Ambrosio as Jezebel. It's every video that I've done that I can think of that has Alessandra Ambrosio in it. There's some videos that are private. I'll release those later. I'm not sure anything in my life is private these days, though. And you can see these videos. I've been under attack and gang stalking by people like Stephanie Houston or Stephanie Yostin and, Olivia Munn and stuff like that for a long time, which I can prove out as well. But in this playlist, it's just, I believe, a group of people adversarial against me in everything are trying to hurt me adversarially. That word in Hebrew is Satan. That's what the word Satan means, the adversary. I think these people are adversarial to me, and they're trying to hurt my mental health, my physical health, my emotional health, my spiritual health, my sexual health, my social health, my monetary health. Across the board, they are trying to hurt me. And this is like their last gasp thing. And I think part of it is, could I figure out that they had breeded me? Well, if I'm going to pull down what seems to be associated like a stronghold of evil fucking rapists, if I'm going to do that, I'm going to need to play it all the way. And maybe I can't know. Maybe Jesus has to play it a little off the cuff. And anyway, so people that are participating include Beyonce, Fernanda Mota, Alessandra Ambrosio, of course. Just a number of people. I point out different people here, not all. Olivia Munn, like I said, James Samuel, Jay Electronica, Jay Z, all sorts of people. Girls Gone Bible, fake Christians, fake Jews, fake religious people. Muslims are directly adversarial based on what their religion says in Christianity. Christianity says that the Satan raises the beast from the earth in the Quran in Surah 27. That's in Revelation 13, by the way. In Surah 27:82 in the Quran, Allah, which is a derivative feminine singular title from the Bible of Yahweh, the true supreme God. Well, Allah, this imposter deity, raises the beast from the earth. And so in Christianity, Satan does that, or the beast from the sea, and those characters are associated with Satan, the beast from the sea and the beast from the earth. And in the Quran, Allah does that. So, again, in Hebrew, that's Aleph Lamed Hey. And, that would actually spell out the title Ale, or the name Ale, like Alessandra's shortened name, just like mine is Matt. Anyway, my whole point with this is that there's a group of people adversarial to me. This is who, their personal life. You can read that here. So I think even our government knows that this is going on, and are participating in this rape attack on my reality. And when I tried to bring it up previously, I was arrested here by the police in Houston, Texas. Detective Nick Vo, I believe, knew that this was going on and perjured himself because he is a corrupt police officer. And all these people that have participated in this are abusive, rapist, terrible people, and they all deserve extreme punishment for this. So, which, I think you can see that Yahweh is happy to oblige that people who are rapists and abusers and using legal authority in illegal ways to commit abusive rape attacks on minors here in Houston, Texas, can and will be thrown into a burning lake, as it says, the second death at the end of the Bible. That's my personal belief, and I'm allowed to have that opinion. I am legally allowed to have that opinion. Okay? That's my First Amendment right. Now, and I'm only saying it if they've participated. If you can prove evidence that you haven't participated, which I think a lot of these people cannot, you'll be fine, And, okay, so, but I think the internet knows more, and I think that there are intelligence agencies that know what's going on, and people would be happy to, knock down some corrupt police officers here in America, some corrupt politicians here in America, some corrupt judges here in America. Other nations that are watching, not that I've contacted or anything, but are watching because that's how intelligence services work, would be happy to prove that, yeah, these American things have done this. But this is why I think I get to sit on the throne of Yahweh, as it says in Revelation, to the one who's conquering at the seven churches of Asia. At the seventh church, you're given the throne of Yahweh, the throne of Jesus. Jesus says, I'll grant you to sit with me on my throne. I believe I'm doing that. This thing, I believe, is the fourth church, and it's connected with the sixth church and the third church. You'd have to read Revelation 2 and 3 to understand what that means. But in any instance, my whole point with this is, supposedly Jamie Mazur is their father, and they broke up again. March 5th, 2018 is exactly 2,520 days ago. You can go to my Twitter, and either one, my Twitter, Matthew is Yah, at Matthew is Yah is my X or Twitter, and I've been posting the things that I was posting exactly 2,520 days ago, along with some interesting other posts that I have, or, making points. But I do have multiple Twitters. Anyway, so a few days after Valentine's this year is exactly 2,520 days after they broke up. I mean, since that point, Alessandra has publicly dated, so Jamie Mazur, Nicolo Odi, Rich Lee, and currently Buck Palmer. They've all been explicitly used to harass me and psychologically torment me because this woman has raped me, taken my children from me, and these men are being used to either abuse the children or suggest that that's going on. And, reasonably, I think that she's my wife. If those are my kids, that's the idea, is like, metaphysically, she's my wife, and she's being used to rot me internally in a strike against me. Look, 2,520 days ago, in a strike against me similar to the one from Genesis 32 that happens to Jacob, and then he's called Israel. I believe that this is the mechanism that does this is found in the Proverbs, specifically in Proverbs 12:4. But I think there's another proverb about envy. The whole point is that using this woman who has connected herself to me in this rapist capacity, like a parasite, she can be beautiful. She's a shithead and evil human being, and she deserves to die. And I think she and her family are going to soon enough. I don't believe that this guy looks like Anja or Noah Ambrosio, and I think one of the biggest tells is his eyes are match neither of them, and that he is a random man that has been used to abuse my kid. And this woman who's beautiful on the outside is rotten on the inside, and that she's trying to rot me internally. Additionally, look at her right eye. It's very strong. Her left eye looks like it has some fucking issue. My left eye is very strong. My right eye looks like someone is trying to clamp it down. I think it's because she's stolen away something from me, and our nervous systems are matching each other. But something's going on. I can't tell you everything. I can't currently. I don't know everything, but at some point I will. Anyway, so okay, moving on. Both of these kids that are supposedly connected, that are supposedly his kids, both of them look a lot like me. In fact, I think he was chosen because he looks similar to me, but he does not have the same features. And I think that he was chosen also because he's willing to participate in this rapist abuse attack. I don't know. It seems like he's somewhat connected to Scientology, but whatever weird cult of abusers he's connected to, these people need to be brought to justice. I'm going to tag all the local news here in this video, and at a certain point, people are going to start reaching out and hurting people because I know that there are people that are publicly watching this. I'm not threatening anybody, but I'm saying that if these neighborhoods that they're from burn down, I think it's closer to arson unless the act of God is divine judgment on them. So you can either say it's arson or divine judgment. There's no in between. There's no random chance that their neighborhood all of a sudden burned down after I made points about them being, evil fucking rapists. Okay? It's just more likely that it's the thing that I'm saying. So, okay. Let's look at some other pictures. Here's Anja Ambrosio. You can see that her jaw structure. I don't have better pictures. I'm sorry. I think if you did a paternity test, you'd figure more out. But her features look like mine mixed with Alessandra Ambrosio's. I could also say that maybe only one of them is my child, but Noah Ambrosio strongly looks like me. I think both of them do. According to the face DNA testing. I just think that, again, and there's other pictures that I think of her that don't look at all like Jamie Mazur and that look like me. So look at our jaw structure. It looks very similar. Here, Noah Ambrosio, there's me and my grandma. There's him and maybe she's already a grandma because they're already doing weird shit to me when I'm young, so who knows what they're doing to Noah. But his nose looks a lot like mine. It does not look like Jamie Mazur's nose, in my opinion. It looks like a combination of Alessandra Ambrosio and my nose. He looks a lot like me at almost every age. He looks more like me than he does Jamie Mazur. Again, I think also Trent Mazur, Jamie's brother, is participating in this. His whole family is participating in it. I think they're a bunch of Satanists or some bullshit like that. And, I think there's other people, all the people that are around Alessandra, I think they have some awareness of this going on and that they're being used to harass me and taunt me from a distance. And, again, I think they're all a bunch of fucking rapists and Satanists. If you're helping a rapist, you're a rapist. And, so all of her friends are fucking rapists and abusers. That's what I've gotten from this. And in fact, it seems like Fernanda Mota has also participated. We'll look at Chloe Mota, her daughter, that looks a lot like me. So, okay, so we're about the same age here. I might be a year older or two even. I think he's 12 here. I think I'm 14 here. So maybe 15. But, close enough. We look very similar. You get what I'm saying? here, look, Palisades basketball. Well, didn't the Palisades burn down? I wonder why. Probably because a bunch of rapists and abusers live there, and like Anja's friends who also live there are actively participating. Helena Gabrielson and Kiki Perrin is her name, I think. But both of those girls are actively participating. I think all of Anja's friends are participating. I think all of their friends are participating. I think certain DJs like Sophie Tucker are participating. I think if you ask me who's participating, I could give you a whole list. It's in my story and pictures. I've been keeping an archive in my phone as much as I can. And I think again, this is the thing that brings down this whole cabal of abusive rapists. But look at my nose and his nose. Look at my jaw and his jaw. Look at like my hair and his hair. It just seems that he's a mixture of Alessandra Ambrosio and I. You know what I mean? She has ears that stick out more. She got them pinned back, so you can't exactly tell that these days. But you know, I think he gets his eyebrows from her and his somewhat Asian looking eyes from her, but then the rest of his eyes are from me. The rest of his features are from me. Similarly, his nose is somewhat of hers and somewhat of mine. I am a good combination of both my parents. I think that the combining genes where it looks like partially both of us is something that runs in my family. Some people favor one of their parents more than the others. Some people don't favor their parents actually that much at all. In these instances, I think they favor both of us a lot. Let's see. Here's when I was a little older, he's a little younger, but you can see that our nose is very similar. That was the whole point of these, is that our nose and then even the face cheeks, you know what I'm talking about? As far as like if you look at his cheeks here, they match almost exactly. And this is exactly when I was that age. So I was a little fat kid. He's a little fat kid. Or he was, I don't know. Uh, you get what I'm saying here. So I think some weird shit's going on. Now, look, we're gonna do one more thing here, and I'm just gonna take a screenshot of this because this looks crazy. Look at that lava. Was it doing this before I started this video? Uh, how long ago did I start this video? 32 minutes ago. We're already past 30 minutes. Uh-oh. But no, it started this right when I started this video. This is another thing where I guess you could call it random chance, but at a certain point, the lightning, the volcanoes, the earthquakes and stuff, that there seems to be a pattern over years that I've been pointing out and directly saying, hey, I think I'm cooperating with the God Yahweh through his son, Jesus Christ. And I think they did something like crucifying me, except they used my kids. They don't have the ability to just reach out and kill me, but they could do some kind of covert action. I think the U.S. government knows about this and that the presidents have participated in it. That part, it's hard to prove, but I think once you prove the Alessandra Ambrosio thing, all things are game, because one of the most beautiful women on the planet, who's one of the most successful, wealthy models on the planet, having my children and keeping it a secret is, that would open up a lot of doors if it's proven that I'm right. So, again, this happened right as I start the fucking video. That should give you another hint that this is going on. To the news here in Houston, Texas, you guys need to start engaging this publicly. Like, it is wrong that you are not. You are wrong, you are in the wrong, and I think it's going to start hurting people. I think people are already getting hurt, but I think, like, you guys need to start engaging that this is going on. It's already hurting me. This has hurt me long enough. It's time for the people that actually deserve the judicial punishment that should be doled out on some people who would do this evil type of shit. It needs to be doled out on them, not me. Okay? All right. So let's look at this. We can keep looking at the lava while I expand this, and we can look at, I believe. Look, I think every picture here that I favorited, I favorited these because I'm able to use them in this capacity where we're talking here. Otherwise, I don't use my favorites folder for anything other than quick access to pictures like I'm doing with these. So anyway, the whole point of this is to show that these kids that, I think Alina Ambrosio, who is Alessandra Ambrosio's sister, I think she also has my children. These kids here, next to Noah and Anja, those are Dylan and Liam Ambrosio. I think those are my biological children. I think that Chloe Moda here is my biological child. I think that I think some weird shit is going on. I don't know. Brazil has a giant picture of or a giant statue of Jesus, and yet they're doing some satanic shit. Like these Brazilian people are doing some evil satanic shit to me, and I need this shit to end. So if you think I'm swearing and that can't make me Jesus, the guy, I'm not Jesus. I'm Matthew Ray Wilkins. But if I'm the guy conquering at the seven churches of Asia from Revelation 2 and 3, that means I'm the guy that matches the one from Revelation 19. And I'm going to suggest this: that person is the guy on the throne of Jesus. I don't have to suggest it. It very clearly explains it in the text. If Alessandra Ambrosio is Jezebel, which I think she is, I think these kids are going to die. I think she's going to die. And I think it's going to prove out that I'm Jezebel. I even think this might be another one of my kids through the girl that I brought up earlier, Nikki Dunn. But I can't prove it. So, that's just a statement that I'm going to make. And, it might be proved later on. But anyway, I just get vibes of that from, she looks like a combination of the two of us. But why do I think Chloe Moda is that? Well, look at Chloe Moda here and look at me, right? Look at my face. Look at Chloe Moda. Look at Fernanda Moda. Fernanda Moda does not have the same nose exactly that Chloe Moda has. It's a little more, it's not as wide, right? The eyebrows don't match. The hair especially looks like my hair. Her hair literally looks exactly like my hair. I mean, it's like curls and everything down at the bottom. Color curls. Her skin tone looks like mine. Her nose looks like mine. Her upper lip looks like mine. She looks like me, in my opinion. If you gave me that hair or my hair that I have now, if you put that on me at the same age, guess what? I would probably look a lot like Chloe Moda. Okay? So, and I think even they kind of favor each other. You know what I mean? Because they're both my children. They're half siblings. Let's see. Going up here, I don't know, is Issa Deleuze, whose mother got cancer after I said Alessandra Ambrosio and the people participating are going to get cancer. Is she my daughter too? I don't know. But some weird shit is going on, and I'm asking that people engage this and take this seriously. I'm tired of these abusers getting away with this. I'm tired of them getting away with it because they're beautiful people and wealthy celebrities, and that they've bought off government, they've bought off police. And what I'm saying is pretty far-fetched, except how do you explain all this? You don't. Nobody does. Everybody's just like, Matthew, shut up, go to sleep. You're crazy. Stop it. You know what I mean? And there's never any, maybe he's got something to it. You know what I mean? When a third-party company that specializes in this is suggesting that there's an over 50% relatedness match in our facial stuff, and that's what I've been saying, that would suggest that probably these are my children, and that this woman, Alessandra Ambrosio, is a rapist. A beautiful rapist, but a rapist piece of shit at that, and her whole family here are rapists, and the children are the product of rape. They are rape babies, and they hate me. They treat me terribly. The men, like the guy here on the edge, is not their father. Their grandma and grandpa are pieces of shit too. The whole family is garbage, and I hope they get thrown into the burning lake. They've had every opportunity to treat me well, to explain this away, and they haven't. Look at her nose here. That does not look like Alessandra Ambrosio's nose. You know what I'm saying? That looks like my nose. That looks like, let's see. Can I find a picture where the lighting makes it obvious that looks like my nose? You know what I mean? Maybe this one. You know what I mean? Like, maybe I can even just do this here. Hold on. Where was I? Which picture? I know which picture, but where's the picture? Hold on. Also, again, with the Hollywood stuff, this is why I think it's like Hollywood is participating, and that why one of the prominent Hollywood suburbs burned down is because they're treating me like a lab experiment, as if I'm fucking Wolverine and she's X-23 or Laura from Logan slash Deadpool and Wolverine. And they at both ages she looks like Daphne Keene. Is Daphne Keene my daughter too? I mean, come the fuck on. When I'm saying some of these, I don't know if they're my children. I think Anja Ambrosio is my child, but like just looking at these pictures here, it just like you know what I'm saying. It looks like a something's going on. That's what I'm trying to say, right? And hold on. Where is the picture that I just? Oh, here. Because Apple's thing constantly shifts around now because they made bad decisions. It's just harder to stay organized. Yes, Apple, you've made bad decisions. Admit it, and most people will think you're a better company for it. When you don't admit your faults, like that's a fucking problem as a company, as a person too. But okay, right? You see how our nose like looks pretty damn similar, except Alessandro Ambrosio's nose is a lot more like sharp and pointy. So if you combine our noses, you get I think something a lot like Anja Ambrosio, man. Like look, I mean it's just like it seems pretty fucking obvious to me, but that's for Anja because she's a butthead teenager these days, and she doesn't like me being dad anyway. Actually, as I've said before, this is what I gathered from this. If I have the ability to figure out and like kind of maybe look into people more than other people, I think she has a daddy fetish, and these men have been abusing her since her childhood, and so she's been I don't know fetishizing all the men that Alessandra dates, and then I come along and I'm actually her dad, and she's really attracted to me, but at the same time, her mother has told her to hate me or taught her to hate me, so she treats me like shit, but in reality, she loves the shit out of me, or she loves the idea of me. She just doesn't love me because she's a shithead, just like her mother. That's what I gather from this. If that sounds wrong, I think the whole situation's fucking wrong. You know what I mean? I don't think I'm random fucking person and that I'm just saying these things about her. She looks too much goddamn like me. Both of them do. Okay, that nose does not look like either of their noses. You know what I mean? Her purported parents. It looks like a combination of my nose and it looks like my nose if I went. You know what I mean? And if you combine my nose and Alessandro Ambrosio's nose, I think that's the nose that you get. So, anyway, it's a fucked up situation. I think these people are fucked up. I think Anja and Noah are pretty fucked up for choosing the random strangers over me and then making a point to hurt me about it. Am I seeking really deeply? Yeah, I am. If that makes sense here. Um, I think AI is going to prove out my points eventually. And these people are going to be stuck. They're already stuck in something that's collapsing in on them, imploding. And, I don't really think they have anywhere to go other than to try to be more abusive and mean to me. And that shit's just not going to work. It hasn't worked from the beginning. So, trying to double down on it is only going to make you look bad enough to where people are going to want to hurt you. About Jezebel's children, it says, I will kill them with death. That's what Jesus slash, Jesus is Yahweh. That's what Yahweh says. That's what Jesus says in Revelation. Am I threatening them? I live here in Houston, Texas. If I strike them with lightning or whatever, you know what I mean? If I cause a 100-mile-per-hour windstorm to happen in cooperation and coordination with Yahweh and Jesus that burns down their neighborhood, I'm going to say it's a divine act of judgment, and probably you should not stand between, a divine act of judgment and the ones being judged. So, and you probably should not be the ones being judged, and if you are, you should probably wise up and stop making bad, evil, fucking decisions. Anyway, so he looks like an Asian version of me because he has Asian eyes. I love Asian people. I love like all people. Sometimes I come off as like this group of people, that group of people, but like that just reminds me of exactly how Yahweh speaks in the Bible. I think I have to be an arbiter on what's going on in the world, and different groups of people are acting pretty fucking evil towards me. So if I sound angry at any one group, there's a reason why Jesus is the one that brings together all the tribes of humanity to follow the one righteous way. Which way is that? Yahweh. Okay? So, I try to act in love, but there's a point where that love is no longer being respected. It's being spit on, trampled on, abused, and someone has to come in and be the judge and say, you're acting wrong, you're in the wrong, you're going to continue to do this. This is, I think, the idea of Jezebel, forgiving her according to uh, the Revelation 2:20 and around that area. That's exactly like that verse and what it's talking about. That's what it says, that you forgive, that you remit, that you suffer the woman Jezebel. I am no longer suffering her. I am judging her. She has done something wrong. I believe it's Alessandra Ambrosio. I believe what she's done wrong is what I've explained in this video and what I've explained in numerous videos, and where they've stayed silent and continued abuse and harassment over distance. And so I stopped looking at them. And since I stopped looking at them, they seem to have stopped being as active and stopped acting like shitheads as much, based on what I can see. Because sometimes I have to pull up stuff, and I'm not trying to. I'm trying to avoid them and just work on the mixes that I'm making, because I'm trying to make art out of this as well. That is my cathartic way of dealing with this. But something is going on, and I need some form of justice. I need the news to actually do their goddamn job and cover this. If you don't, I think Yahweh will judge the news and the people here in the news. And you can see people are getting cancer. When people around Houston in the news community, all of them start getting cancers and evil diseases, you've brought it upon yourself by not shining a light on this rapist fucking behavior. You are in the wrong. They are in the wrong. I need you to be in the right. If they die, it's not gonna be good on you anyway. You know what I'm saying? So if you guys are the ones that kick that door open, Jesus says, I stand and knock to him who opens the door. Well, it says also Jesus is gonna open a door that no one is gonna be able to close. If the news covers this, because I think that the news has been, people who have a lot of money have been trying to pay the news off to not cover this. Well, I think at this point, it would be more than reasonable for the news to cover it, and that it's unreasonable for the news to not be covering this to some degree. In the least, you need to send an investigative journalist to come and ask me questions, or to cover this to some degree. You don't have to say that this is what is exactly going on. You can say that this is what I'm purporting is going on. But, something's going to kick the door open anyway, and if you haven't taken reasonable steps, it is on y'all's head. This is not a threat, it's a reality. I'm not threatening anybody. I don't own a weapon. I own art. And I make art, okay? And you don't want Yahweh to make art around you. That's the problem. If I'm making art around this situation and you're trying to close the door that Yahweh's bound to open up, I think that's going to strike y'all really heavily, and it's going to hurt. And you're going to deserve it. And you're going to know you deserve it. And, the ultimate penalty is infinite burning torture in the second death, the burning lake that even Satan is going to be thrown into. Satan is just a side character that gets burningly tossed into a second death. He is not some kind of superpowered. Well, he is a superpowered being to most people, but if you actually have Jesus and Yahweh on your side, he's a little bitch. So, look at Noah Ambrosio here. Look at me. He looks like me with Asian eyes. This is me and my dad. This is Noah Ambrosio and Anja Ambrosio. I mean, I think we look pretty similar, as I've said in numerous instances. And like I'm saying, there are things that are going on with Liam Ambrosio and Dylan Ambrosio that make me think that they're also my children. They just look like me mixed with Aline Ambrosio. She can be grinning and smirking and whatever. She's a beautiful lady, but she's a shithead. She's a rot and a despicable human being. This is not Despicable Me, also, by the way, just to make a point, because, oh, I'm despicable. How despicably me? You know what I mean? And it's like, no, this is the end of you. This is infinite burning torture for you and everybody you love. You should not play with this. If I can throw you into that, that makes me Yahweh God. That makes me Jesus. So if that's your actual fear, Detective Nick Vo, when I said that almost 7 years ago, he literally filed charges against me for saying that people would be thrown in, including him. And, honestly, if you're afraid that I can do that, you're calling me God. So which is it? If I can't do it actually, then you can't be afraid of it. So if you were afraid of it, which he testified to a grand jury that I was that, then he has to be afraid that I'm God. Can I do that? Do I have the resources even to get a helicopter and throw you over a volcano? No. I don't have those resources. That's unrealistic. So to pretend that I could do that is also perjury. You know what I mean? Especially when you know these women have been harassing me and participating in some kind of evil fucking game around this for a long time. So, corrupt police officers. That's what I'm saying. If he's not just a fucking actor himself, you know? But he's a bad actor. That's what I can say. Now, is that acting as in like, Daniel Day-Lewis acting, or is that acting as in like, rational actor as in, global political theory and stuff like that? Well, you'll have to make up your decision. I mean, your mind on that one. Okay, all these kids, they look like me. I'm not just adding them into my favorites for no fucking reason. They look like me at every age that they've existed so far. They look like me. I believe when Noah is 33, he's probably going to look a lot like me. Um, I mean, I think he looks like me as a kid there. I think his nose is really like looks a lot like my nose mixed with Alessandro Ambrosio's nose. Um, Here's me at this age. I think he might even have my mother's jawline because he has a more rounded face, but he also is just kind of chubby like I was at that point. So, in any instance, I think we look similar in those pictures. Not super similar, but I don't think we look completely dissimilar either. She was doing stuff when he was younger, like trying to make his hair blonde, so it was harder to tell what was going on. But again, I think he looks like me as a kid, except Asian, and in that picture with blonde hair. So I mean, it's just like, come on. Again, a independent third party expert has confirmed that they look like me. So it's not that I'm just bringing this out of nowhere. I'm asking for the law to take, I'm asking actually for some public scrutiny on this. Not on me. You know what I'm saying? I think people have told me enough that I'm crazy, but I think that isn't borne out by the evidence. I think the evidence bears, hey, something is going on here, and we need to dig into it further. That's reasonable. That's right. That's righteous that you would do that. I'm asking for a righteous overview of what's going on. I'm looking for, like, in Counter-Strike terms, Overwatch. I need some Overwatch on this. These cheaters who've been cheating, you know what I mean? I need some Overwatch on this, okay? Um anyway. Okay, let's see. Anything else? Anything else? These are just like I just have these in here for quick reference. Look, he's a ninja, I'm Batman. He's a ninja, I'm Batman. I'm trying to be humorous about this too. That's the only way I can get through this. So, you know, at these ages we look similar. Again, maybe not exactly the same, but it's hard to tell also because I think our noses look very similar there, except my it's an older picture, so it's softer. I'm going to say this: his nose doesn't at all look like Alessandro Ambrosio's nose. There, it looks a lot like mine because it's very rounded. It doesn't look like Jamie Mazur's because his nose is not that rounded. He looks like my child, except with blonde hair because she dyed it blonde. I wonder why. To make it harder to tell if he's my kid? Yeah, I think so. Um, Here, look at his nose here. Look at the shape of his nose and stuff. All right, if we go back to like a good picture of me at almost that exact age, our noses look exactly the same at that age. You know what I'm saying? Our hair might be a little different. Again, his mom dyes his hair and does all these kind of things to try to make him look less like it. The only time that she started making it more obvious was when I had already called out that, hey, this looks like my kid. These look like my kids. Or in the least, they look like me. You know? So, like, again, look at his nose here. That's just what it looks like to me. You know what I'm saying? So, let's see. I think Anja Ambrosio just looks like me. I think the whole point of her even wearing that exact hoodie was to look like, to mock what's going on and to look kind of like me. If I tie my hair back like this, it just looks like I'm like a male version of her, or actually, since she's my daughter, that she's you know, a young teenage girl version of me, right? I mean, our hoodies are almost even the exact same thing. Am I going to judge this on my hoodie? No, I'm basing this on everything else. You know what I mean? Um, Let's see. Here's her doing the dog thing. One of the ways that I can prove that I think that it's a good, uh, it gives me a good idea that they're doing this on purpose. Is that as soon as I said, "Is she my dog?" she reposted specifically and explicitly pictures of her with a dog filter on, kind of in a mocking fashion. That should tell you that they're watching my content, even though it seems like some kind of weird digital block is saying that like no one's watching my content, which is not true. That's just not reality, and I'm not unaware of that. And in fact, there have been glitches where it fucks up and it shows that a lot of people are watching my thing. That should tell you and I have the evidence that those glitches have happened, and there's no explaining it other than more people are watching, and there's some kind of digital block that Meta, X, and all these companies are participating in keeping people from keeping me from knowing what's going on. And what this is doing is it's hurting my family because my parents think I'm no, what are you talking about? That's not the case, blah, blah, blah. You know what I'm saying? So, anyway. Okay. This is all the pictures that, whatever. I'm going to end maybe with this one because just look at her nose. Like, I mean, come on. It just looks like my nose, except, uh, you know, just trying to do the thing. I had some coffee earlier. Don't, discolored tongue. But, okay. I think they're my kids. So, I don't have more to show. I think that this is going on. I'm not going to accept that nothing is going on. There is absolutely, clearly something going on. I'm not threatening people other than what Yahweh, God, and Jesus would do to you. I'm not saying that I'm going to go out and hurt anybody. That has never been my case. And in fact, the things that got me in trouble when I was saying, "Come here," and let me do sexual act in a way of like in a similar way to be saying like "fuck you," get over here and blah 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 blah. But I'm just talking shit because these people have done something wrong, and explicitly I'm not threatening them in a way that I thought would get me in trouble, and they still got me in trouble anyway, saying that like, "Oh, I'm gonna throw you into a burning lake." Even a judge said that that's my constitutional right to do it, and so they went over the judge's head, and did a grand jury thing and didn't tell the grand jury the whole truth. So I think people are going to get in trouble over this, and they goddamn should. This is evil. This is fucking evil. And to me, it looks like it's even pissing Yahweh off to the degree that like this is how the Earth de-stresses when the magma's exploding out of it. When it like try, you know what I'm saying? It de-stresses by cracking open and then lava shoots out. That's called a volcano. Okay, this is a volcanic situation. In Hebrew, that word is like Sodom, like Sodom and Gomorrah. All right, well, Sodom and Gomorrah is about a volcanic bituminous situation. Those are literally what the words mean in Hebrew, and it has to do with rape, not gay stuff. So I'm not sitting here judging gay stuff. I'm saying this is like Sodom and Gomorrah because though a bunch of gay people have participated, and you're fucking evil for it. And trans people too. Matt Mezzafera, who is now Maya Mezzafera. I don't care if I dead name you if you're fucking acting like an evil fucking rapist shithead. Fuck you. I mean, this is how I feel about all these people. If I seem angry, I think I have a right to be. Okay? I'm going to end this at exactly 1 hour. That is 1 minute and 30 seconds from now. So I hope that I've made this pretty clear that there is something going on where these kids are probably my kids. High probability. They look like me. Facial match along with a expert technician has said that they look like me. I think when you add in more pictures, it doesn't go down. I think that goes up. You know what I'm saying? So I'm asking the news, who I'm going to post this on X, and I'm going to tag all the local news channels in this. You guys need to cover this. You guys, in the least, need to look into this. On top of people literally stealing from me constantly, like, you guys need to look into this. Everything that I'm talking about is I've been covering on my channel, else it happened before I even had a YouTube channel. So, okay, that's going to be it. I hope I've made this as clear as possible, as, like, made it as obvious as possible. Something is going on, and it's evil, it's wrong, and someone needs to do something about it. Anyway, look for the Alessandro Ambrosio mix coming out in the next couple months. I think it's going to be fire, literally. Maybe lava. But, okay. This is where I'm ending it. Have a blessed one. I'll catch you next time. Yeah. Okay. Anyway, bye. Yeah.